Good evening, I'm Elizabeth Noreika. This is Eyewitness News at 6 o'clock. The ex-wife of a man shot and killed in front of the Logan Walmart is speaking out tonight. Few problems and few voters at the polls today. And Jim, one would think that December would mean no more temperatures in the 60s, but doesn't look like it. Rick, as we look out over the city of Charleston, the rain continues to fall as it has for much of the day, creating a whole mess of problems out there, from flooding to car wrecks, including one very close call for a driver in Kanawha City. Eyewitness News reporter Kenny Bass has this story. Tonight in the Hollywood buzz, the third day of testimony gets underway in the Dr. Conrad Murray manslaughter trial. A convicted killer will remain behind bars. West Virginia has the oldest population in the nation, and that means a lot of organizations need to come together to make sure senior citizens get the care they need. A portion of Washington Street East will remain closed tonight after a water main break punched a hole through the road. An inmate is killed during a fight. Investigators say two prisoners got into an altercation Saturday at Mount Olive. Police tell us Rickelman did have a relationship with at least one person in that house and that there was some type of disagreement prior to the shootings. Next night, the mother of a missing 3-year-old Lewis County girl has been arrested. A push for healthier lunches in Kanawha County. This has been a big debate for some time. Dozens of jobs are coming to Charleston. We've been following the path of an alleged murderer who police say killed 5 people and left 2 others wounded before turning the gun on himself. Well, it's an issue that's caused quite an uproar in Logan County, and today dozens came out to show their support for a man charged with murder. You may have noticed that you are now paying more at the pump. Yeah, they've issued a warrant for Leah Long. She's 21 years old and from Charleston. Students here in Charleston got a lesson on paying for college. Good afternoon, I'm Elizabeth Noreika. This is Eyewitness News at noon. For the third time in history, George Washington High School's football team will go to the state championships. Hundreds of students packed the school this morning to rally this team before they took off for Wheeling. Flames tear through a Logan apartment building, leaving a massive mess behind and dozens homeless. All right, Bob, thank you. We'll look forward to that report. Next tonight, one person is in the hospital after a shooting on Charleston's west side early this morning. The case of a missing toddler was brought back into the national spotlight last night. Eyewitness News reporter Leslie Rubin spoke live on air with Nancy Grace about missing toddler Aaliyah Lunsford. On Headline News, Nancy Grace spoke to many people on the show except the child's mother. We're told that when the show's producers called to speak to Lena Lunsford, they were hung up on. Aaliyah's great aunt Vicki Bowen was on the show via phone and continues to be the only voice from the girl's family to speak out for her. Grace questioned many of Lunsford's actions since her daughter went missing more than 2 months ago.
Out to Leslie Rubin with WCHS. I haven't heard a word about forced entry of any type. Leslie?
No, neither have we. Lena said in the 911 call that she believed that the doors were locked. So we've never heard anything about a forced entry.
And there is still a $20,000 reward on the table for anyone who can provide any information on this case. And the city block where Occupy Huntington set up for nearly 2 months is now empty. Protesters say police came in about 4 this morning to clear out what was left of their campsite. The tents were taken down last night after getting an eviction notice from the city. Many group members say they'll continue to come out and support the cause even without their tents.
We understand that there's going to be some trials and tribulations.
Chicago tells Eyewitness News everything went smoothly between police and protesters during this morning's cleanup. Teaming up to take on these tough times is a fundraiser to help those less fortunate. It is time for the 4th annual Circle of Hope. The fundraiser is made up of several local organizations to help Mountain Mission. The nonprofit helps people who need emergency assistance. Given the hard economic times, organizers say now more than ever is the time to help.
It really warms our hearts knowing that we can warm the bellies of other people. I mean, you know, toys are great, that is awesome, but an essential of life is food, and that's what we do.
The Circle of Hope will continue into tomorrow. Tapping out tradition, how a local college dance group is helping keep history alive. That's coming up on Eyewitness News.
Good evening, I'm Rick Lord.
And I'm Elizabeth Noreika. This is Eyewitness News. We'll get to that story in just a moment, but first, new details emerged tonight after a Glasgow police officer was shot. It happened last night on Glassfire Lane. Investigators say Nikki Dawn Smith called 911 claiming someone was trying to break into his house. When off-duty Glasgow officer Steve Smith and a uniformed officer got to the home, police Police say Nikki Smith shot Steve Smith with a shotgun. Friends of the suspect say this could have been a mistake, while neighbors say that's far from the truth.
I know he's a good guy, and I know if something went down, I'm sure, you know, it was a big mistake.
Oh, I don't think it was an accident. How can it be an accident when you shoot a policeman with a shotgun?
Officer Smith is recovering at CAMC. Nikki Smith is charged with malicious wounding and felony possession of a firearm. According to state police, they found no evidence of anyone trying to break into his home.
Meanwhile, state police have arrested a man they say shot and killed another man in Roane County early this morning. Troopers arrested 19-year-old Adam Little after he allegedly killed 23-year-old Jeremy Smith while at a party. Witnesses say Little just picked up a shotgun and killed Smith for no reason. Troopers say Little knew other people at the house on Tawny Hollow Road in Left Hand, but did not know Smith. Alcohol was present in the home, but troopers say no one at the party was intoxicated. Little is currently in the Central Regional Jail, charged with murder.
In Putnam County, a woman is in the hospital after her son allegedly tied her up and beat her. Larry Frazier Jr. is charged with felony kidnapping. Deputies say Bonnie Frazier confronted him last night about a credit card he had allegedly stolen from her and threatening text messages he had been sending to his estranged wife. When police got to the house, they found Frazier beaten and bound with zip ties with her mouth covered with duct tape. She said her son also held a knife to her throat. Larry Frazier was later arrested in St. Albans. Officers say there's no telling what he would have been capable of in this state of mind.
If the accusations out of Putnam County are true, then, you know, if you're going to attack your own mother, then what do you want to do to your estranged wife? I think a fairly major crime was probably prevented this morning.
No word yet on the extent of Bonnie Frazier's injuries.
And we saw a lot of cloud cover across the region today. Had some showers to start things off. Only picked up a few hundredths of an inch, though. And now we're looking for more rain to roll in tomorrow. Boy, the temperature was 46 an hour ago in Charleston. Wind has picked up a little bit and brought in some warmer air from the south. And we're up to 51 now. And we have mostly cloudy skies and rain showers again coming in sometime late tomorrow morning. That's the way things are shaping up. And we'll be at 50 degrees to start off the day tomorrow. We'll probably hit our high temperature around noon, right around the time the showers start, and then we'll cool down a bit down to 58 by the late afternoon, and that will bring in some cooler temperatures for the days after that, and I'll explain more about that in my forecast, and that's coming up very shortly.
At the state capitol, it is among the world's richest natural gas reserves, and now West Virginia will soon have new rules and permit fees in place for drilling in the Marcellus Shale. Eyewitness News anchor Dave Benton is live in our Charleston studios with an update after a busy day under the dome. Dave?
Hi, Rick. Yeah, the three-day debate in special session is over. Governor Tomlin's Marcellus Shale bill passed earlier today, but not everyone's happy with the outcome.
Today marks an exciting achievement in our state's history.
After 3 days of debate, Governor Tomlin's Marcellus Shale bill passes. It outlines proposed rules for drilling. A unanimous Senate sent the regulatory bill to the governor after the House approved it 92-5. Now, companies will have to pay $10,000 for the first permit fee and $5,000 for each well added to that site.
Didn't think we got a lot out of the bill, but, you know, we got certainty now. We've got clarity on the regulations. We've got the ability to move forward, and for whatever we wanted, the particular things that we wanted, it was not worth standing in the way of progress to argue those things.
A representative for surface owners says the odds are still against the landowners where drilling will take place.
People's lives are affected. People put their life savings into their homes and farms, and that's going to be devalued because there just aren't enough protections in this bill. And it's just disappointing. You know, sometimes you feel like West Virginia is just a big company town.
The industry's opponents question putting this bill on the fast track. They believe lawmakers should have spent more time on it.
I'd say that this is something we've been working on for 2 years and really pretty intensely been working on with the Select Committee for 6 months. So I certainly don't feel like it was rushed.
Now, there are still some issues that need to be addressed with both the industry and surface owners, so this bill could get tweaked in the coming months or even years. Reporting live in the studio, Dave Benton, Eyewitness News.
A man who lived on the Sissonville property searched in connection with the 2003 sniper shootings pleads guilty in federal court to having a gun while being on drugs. 36-year-old Rodney Schaefer admitted to owning 23 rifles and guns and abusing meth and pain pills. Those guns have been confiscated. Schaefer faces 10 years in prison and a $250,000 fine when he is sentenced in March.
It has now been 4 years since a college student at Marshall was found dead in her Huntington apartment building. Here's what we know tonight. Leah Hickman was found strangled in a crawl space on December 14, 2007. The search had gone on for 5 days before her body was finally found in the basement. The murder case is still unsolved. Police say they believe she knew her killer. Eyewitness News reporter Dan Maddox talked exclusively today with close friends of Leah's family.
Girl, and we used to we girls that were here tried to comb her hair.
Pictures and memories are all that is left of Leah Hickman. 4 years ago, the Marshall journalism student's body was found. She was murdered, then dumped in a crawl space in her apartment building.
You just can't imagine, you know, losing your own child, and especially an only child, and not having really any answers, no closure.
Her dad, Ron Hickman, is the assessor for Mason County. Workers in his office paid tribute by wearing ribbons that are blue, Leah's favorite color.
And the reason we're wearing them is we don't want the authorities or the public to forget that 4 years ago she was murdered, and we don't have anyone in custody yet.
Elaine Ogle knew Leah from when she was a baby. For her, it's about keeping the memory alive.
She was such a kind person, would do anything for anyone, and we don't want her forgotten.
And while time seems to slow down,
we'd show her the computers and mess with her hair and makeup.
And memories remain strong, things don't get any easier.
Today's very hard. It was hard on Ron. It's hard on us. We went through this with him, and it's very hard.
Dan Maddox reporting tonight. Police continue to investigate this crime and ask that anyone who knows anything at all to come forward.
The county prosecutor and state police say a Matewan Middle School teacher and coach is under investigation after multiple students claim he sexually abused them. No charges have been filed against 47-year-old James Keatley, who was a math teacher, boys basketball coach, and football coach at the school. Mingo County prosecutor Michael Sparks described the allegations as fondling and said the claim is that they happened at Matewan Middle School. As the investigation so far covers only the current school year.
Multiple female students have alleged what would constitute sexual abuse. I've been concerned that there has been one of the victims in particular who has alleged retaliatory conduct by relatives of the suspect who currently work at the same Matewan Middle School.
Sparks and the investigating troopers say they are also checking to see if any efforts have been made to intimidate witnesses at the school. The principal and school superintendent say Keatley has been on leave since the allegations surfaced sometime in November. Keatley did not return our calls for comment.
The State Board of Education has updated its anti-bullying policy. The board met this afternoon to address sexual orientation and gender identity as part of their new policy, which is now based on 13 categories, including race, religion, ethnicity, and sexual orientation and gender expression. After that, some cooler weather comes back in.
All right, Jim. Thanks a lot. That's going to do it for us tonight. Thanks for watching. Good night.
We'll see you.